Welcome back to the deep dive. We're taking your source material, breaking it down, making it stick.
Yeah, absolutely.
Today, we're jumping into episode 4 of the Infusion battle arena. This one's all about, skill, strategy, raw power, how it all plays out across the tiers.
Right. And our focus today is on 4 specific characters, kind of the top representatives of their classes. We've got Lady Shiva for street tier, Deathstroke for enhanced, Ghost Rider Johnny Blaze for superhuman, and Power Girl repping the metahumans.
Okay, so the mission is basically analyzing their 5 big encounters, see where skill hits its limit and where power just takes over.
Exactly. You're going to see where those lines get drawn.
Got it. And just a quick refresher for everyone listening. Neutral arena, we're looking at consistent portrayals, not like one-off weird feats.
Right. No outliers. It's all about the repeatable outcomes, the balance between power tier and combat proficiency.
Yeah.
Going from inept all the way up to that rare, unprecedented level.
And the scores, they're more about the margin of victory, right? Not just the number itself.
Precisely. Those margins tell the real story. If someone from a lower tier wins, it means their skill or strategy is acting like a massive force multiplier. It's overriding that power difference.
Okay, makes sense. Let's kick it off then, starting with pure mastery. Lady Shiva, street tier, non-powered. But her combat proficiency, unprecedented. Lethal technique, absolute precision.
Yeah, she was fascinating because she's not just like a great fighter. She's almost a concept. She represents the absolute peak of what a baseline human can do.
And the results really show her pushing boundaries.
Consistently. She challenges fighters who, on paper, should just walk all over her.
All right, let's look at her big fights. First up, Batman. Data shows Shiva taking it, but it's really close, like 5-5-45.
It's super narrow.
Ah.
And that split tells you something. It's about lethal precision versus tactical genius.
Okay.
Batman. He's got the plans, the gear, the versatility. But Shiva, in that neutral zone, her ability to just end the fight with one perfect move. It gives her that slight, consistent edge over his tactics.
So peak technique just nudges out peak tactics.
In this context, yeah. It validates that idea.
And we see a similar result against Iron Fist, Danny Rand. 5-5-45 again. He's got the chi punches, the discipline.
Immensely powerful, no doubt. But again, the analysis points to Shiva's pure technical skill, the timing, the counters. They're just flawless.
Like she's operating on a different level of execution.
Almost like combat math. She just calculates the perfect move. It's that slight edge again.
But then we hit these deadlocks. Richard Dragon, Shang-Chi. Both are perfect 50-50 splits. Why?
See, that's where skill kind of cancels itself out. When you have 2 fighters at that unprecedented level.
It's not about technique anymore.
Less about technique, maybe more about philosophy or approach. Richard Dragon is like her mirror image. Their timing, precision, it's almost identical.
A true stalemate.
And Shang-Chi, it's Shiva's lethal surgical style against his disciplined harmony, his almost defensive mastery. They just perfectly balance each other out. No weakness for either to exploit consistently.
Okay. Now this next one, this feels like it breaks the mold a bit. Shiva versus Zealot. Zealot's enhanced tier. Ancient cherubim warrior, stronger, tougher. And Shiva wins 60-40? That seems like a big jump.
It is significant. And that right there is the ultimate proof of that mastery multiplier concept we mentioned.
How so?
Zealot is physically superior. Stronger, more durable, centuries of experience. But Shiva, her technique lets her bypass all that.
Bypassing cherubim physiology.
Think pressure points. Exploiting tiny gaps in armor or stance. Using leverage perfectly. It's pure physics and anatomy applied at the highest possible level. She's hitting weaknesses an enhanced opponent might not even realize they have or can't recover from quickly enough.
Wow, okay. So Shiva really defines that absolute ceiling for non-powered skill.
She does. But that ceiling exists. Now let's move up.
Right, to where enhancements start to become the norm. Deathstroke, enhanced tier, Slade Wilson. Abilities just above peak human, enhanced reflexes, healing, and that tactical ruthlessness.
Yeah, Deathstroke is all about consistency and strategic lethality. His enhancements mean he's always performing at peak, and his brain, always finding the quickest, most brutal path to a win.
Especially against lower tiers or even his peers.
Definitely. Look at his matchup with Black Panther. Slade takes it 5-5-45.
Even with T'Challa's suit, his skill, his own strategic mind.
It's Slade's baseline advantages plus that lethal mindset. His speed and strength force T'Challa onto the defensive, relying more on the suit. Slade is always aiming for the kill shot. That single-minded focus keeps him just ahead of T'Challa's adaptability.
Makes sense. And against Bloodshot, Another enhanced guy, nanites, regeneration. Slade wins more decisively there, 60-40.
That's Slade's precision shining through. He knows he can't just, turn off the nanites instantly.
Right.
But his superior skill and tactical brain let him disable Bloodshot repeatedly. Target weapon systems mobility. He applies damage faster and smarter than the nanites can consistently repair, overwhelming the system. Tactical brilliance.
And then against the street tier guys, it's almost unfair. Green Arrow, Ninjak. Slade wins decisively. 6-5-35 against Ollie, 60-40 against Ninjak.
Yeah, it's pretty brutal. Queen's archery, Ninjak's stealth and skills, they're top tier for humans.
But against Slade?
Overwhelmed. Slade's enhancements, his nth metal armor, he controls the fight. Ninjak's stealth gets countered by Slade's enhanced senses and predictive strategy. Once they engage physically, the gap is just too wide.
But even Deathstroke hits a ceiling, the tier wall. His match against Ghost Rider, superhuman tier. Ghost Rider takes that one, 60-40.
That's where strategy runs into a power scale it just can't overcome. Slade is brilliant, maybe one of the best tacticians ever. But Johnny Blaze operates on a whole different level. Ghost Rider's mystical durability, his resilience, it's supernatural. The most perfectly planned attack, the best explosive. Ghost Rider just shrugs it off.
So Slade can't find a weak point to explain.
Not reliably. Not enough to actually win. He can maybe score points, exploit the human host for a moment, but he can't put down the spirit of vengeance. He just can't do enough damage that sticks.
He literally hits a wall of supernatural power.
Pretty much.
Okay, so let's cross that wall. Superhuman tier. Ghost Rider, Johnny Blaze. Baseline capabilities are fully superhuman now. Mystical durability, hellfire, stamina.
And this is where you see Ghost Rider really excel against certain types, especially physical powerhouses. Look at Colossus.
Right, huge organic steel body. Ghost Rider wins that. 5-5-45. How?
Hellfire and stamina. Colossus' durability is immense, sure, but it's physical.
And hellfire isn't.
It's mystical, spiritual even. It bypasses conventional durability to some extent. Plus, Ghost Rider can just take incredible punishment and keep going. He basically outlasts Colossus. It's a war of attrition he's built for.
Okay. And he also edges out Venom, Eddie Brock, another superhuman, symbiote power, speed, 5-5-45 again.
Same principle, really. The hellfire. It runs the symbiote, hurts it directly.
A specific weakness.
Exactly. Venom is fast, strong, regenerates, but he can't easily finish Ghost Rider. And the longer that fight goes, the more that hellfire damages the symbiote, weakens its bond, maybe Blaze grinds out the win.
But it's not all wins for Blaze in his tier. When he faces other mystical heavy hitters, things change. Etrigan the Demon beats him, 5-5-4-5.
Yeah, this is where it gets tricky. A direct mystical fight. Etrigan's got, well, arguably greater raw magical durability, more versatile sorcery too.
So demon versus demon, Etrigan's just slightly tougher.
Or has more magical tricks up his sleeve. Their infernal power is close, but Etrigan's deeper connection to magic, maybe just his inherent nature, gives him that slight edge in a long magical slugfest.
And a similar story against Spawn. Spawn also wins 5-5-4-5.
Versatility again. Spawn's necroplasm power set is just broader. Ghost Rider is very focused. Hellfire chains, penance stare. Spawn's got energy blasts, shape-shifting, summoning weapons, teleporting. Just a wider toolkit. That adaptability gives him the edge against Blaze's more focused infernal power.
Okay. And then another tier wall. Ghost Rider versus Doctor Strange, a metahuman sorcerer. Strange wins decisively, 60-40.
And there's that power hierarchy again. Strange operates at a higher level of magical mastery. His defenses, his ability to manipulate dimensions, battlefield removal, just sending Blaze somewhere else. Strange has too many ways to counter or contain Ghost Rider's hellfire. Blaze is dangerous, definitely, but Strange has, multiple layers of magical answers.
Right. The tiers matter. Which brings us perfectly to the top tier we're covering today, metahuman, and our example, Power Girl. Kara Zor-El, Kryptonian physiology, multiple power sets, strength, speed, flight, durability, the whole package.
Yep. And at this level, you see dominance over the lower tiers. Power Girl is kind of the baseline for high-level cosmic power consistency.
And we see that against Captain Marvel, Carol Danvers, who's technically superhuman tier in this setup. Power Girl wins 5-5-45.
Even with Carol's energy blasts in flight.
It comes down to that Kryptonian consistency. Kara's raw speed, strength, and resilience are just relentlessly there. She can tank hits while closing the distance.
It's like she forces the fight onto her terms.
Exactly. Her superior physicals let her control the pace more often than not, even against someone firing powerful energy blasts like Carol.
Okay. And she holds that slight edge against some metahuman peers, too. Isis, Adriana Tomaz, magic, elemental control. Power Girl still takes it 5/5/45. That one's about speed mostly. Kara can blitz Isis before she fully brings her magical or elemental power to bear.
So overwhelm her defenses quickly.
Right. If the fight drags out, if Isis gets space to work her magic, it gets way tougher for Kara. But usually that initial Kryptonian speed and strength secure the win fast enough.
Even against Suprema, who's basically a Kryptonian analog, Power Girl still wins 5/5/45 again. How?
Experience. Pure operational know-how. Kara's just been in more fights, trained with more teams like the JSA. She has more tactical discipline.
So when the powers are almost identical?
The better fighter, the smarter fighter, takes the edge. And that's usually Kara in this comparison.
But Kryptonian consistency isn't everything. She loses 2 key matchups against metahuman peers. First, Black Adam. He beats her decisively, 60-40.
Ah, yes. The classic Kryptonian vulnerability. Magic.
Right.
Adam's power comes from magic. The lightning, the strength boost, it all hits Kara harder. Combine that with Adam's absolute ruthlessness in combat. He just leverages that weakness effectively and consistently overpowers her. Way more effectively than Isis could, according to the analysis.
Okay, so a specific counter, and the other loss is also decisive. Gladiator Kalark, he also wins 60-40. Why him?
That's about power scaling, but tied to psychology. Gladiator's powers are tied to his confidence.
Right, the more confident, the stronger he is.
Exactly. And when Kalark is fully confident, his feats go off the charts. Cosmic level strength, durability. It just pushes him beyond Kara's own immense power levels.
He operates on a higher scale.
Often, yeah. In most arena clashes, his peak potential just outstrips hers, making him the dominant force in that specific matchup.
Okay, wow. So let's try and tie this all together. 4 tiers, 4 characters. What's the big picture?
Well, we saw peak skill, like Shiva's, can definitely overcome lower-level enhancements, like Zealots. But even she hit stalemates against equal skill.
Then Deathstroke showed tactical brilliance plus enhancements dominating the street tier.
But smacked right into that superhuman wall with Ghost Rider. Power scale mattered.
Ghost Rider, in turn, handled physical powerhouses but struggled against more versatile mystics, or the tier above him, Doctor Strange.
And finally, Power Girl, embodying metahuman might, dominated lower tiers but still had clear vulnerabilities magic against Adam, or just being outscaled by Gladiator's confidence power.
So consistency matters, whether it's skill or power.
Absolutely. Consistency is key. But power gaps are real, and specific weaknesses or superior tactics get exploited ruthlessly at the top levels.
That really sums it up well. And thinking back to the start, Shiva, Dragon, Shang-Chi, those perfect 50-50 stalemates between the absolute masters of martial arts.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder, doesn't it? What happens then?
What do you mean?
Well, if pure mastery leads to a deadlock, what happens if you combine that unprecedented skill, that Shiva-level technique, with, say, an enhanced physiology like Deathstroke's?
Ah, so peak skill plus enhanced stats. Does that break the deadlock? Does that create something unbeatable at that Street Plus level?
Exactly. That's the question for you, the listener, to think about.
And it's actually a perfect lead-in for our next deep dive.
Oh, who's up next?
We'll be looking at Richard Dragon, another one of those unprecedented martial artists, and comparing his results to someone like the Winter Soldier, who brings enhancement in tactics. Plus, we'll throw in some pure powerhouses like The Thing and the wild card that is Sentry.
Okay, that sounds intense. Skill versus enhancement versus raw power, round 2.
You got it. We're going to push these tier interactions even further.
Awesome. Definitely join us for that next time on The Deep Dive.